Good morning, my great warriors. How are we doing today? This is Figure Warriors 2, and we got some noise in the background here, but I'm going to kind of do one. I'm heading to the store for a second, and I want to do a quick video and just kind of see how we're doing for Saturday, this July 24th, 2022. Thank you guys for all the nice subscriptions. You guys are doing great when it comes to giving me comments and feedback. I appreciate that. I got a few that I got to respond back to, but I appreciate everybody kind of doing nice things, new subscribers. So keep going, my friends, and as long as I'm helping with this information, then I'll continue doing it, and hope it is. So thank you guys very, very much. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. I'm going to focus today on one that I think Mark, our viewer Mark, kind of put together something as an idea and kind of asked some questions and talked about like building habits and building habits through retention is really important. Now, why is habits important? Well, let's focus on this a little bit. So everything we do in life is really a habit. You could argue and go back to this argument, and I remember doing some of my graduate work on the difference between free thinking and habits. And what I found was, yes, we do have times where we can free think, but we're used to habits. People love order. I think that was a philosophy back Darwin and Darwinism and all kinds of stuff like that. The survival of the species, Darwin, all these kind of things that you saw that we talked about, even in the past, we've talked about. All that goes back to this idea that we form habits. And we form habits that are very ritualistic. And so people like to have some level of order. They don't like to have chaos going on and things just kind of interrupt. So order is something that happens a lot. And so habits are formed because of that. And all you gotta do, is think of things that we're talking about. We talk about habits when it comes to studying. If you're in school right now and you're forming habits, you're getting good study habits, right? If you're taking a test and you're going ahead and studying ahead of time for that, then you're building a habit of that. Success is a habit. So is, failing, right? And so you have to kind of make sure you build good, successful habits. And sometimes it's one step at a time as you do it. The same thing comes with any kind of addiction. Addictions can be broken, but you have to break that habit. And some people down deep don't want to break that habit. And so basically, you're learning good ways to break habits through retention. Because you're breaking one of the biggest, types of problems that you can ever have, and that's losing your energy. And you're breaking that by forming a new habit of focusing on your own types of things, a new habit of getting goals, a new habit of trying to, really kind of be your own independent type person. And that's different than the way you were before. And as I said, people notice it, and we have a lot of benefits from that. But the idea really is that you're really kind of forming a new set of habits. And what you're trying to do is get away from the old habits so that you're able to function more effectively and efficiently, accomplish more, and do more things with your life. And not be dependent on other people, not be dependent upon women, and all this other kind of stuff that we've talked about before. So when it comes to building good habits, what we need to do is kind of think about the habits that you want to build through retention. And what you're doing is you're building excellent habits because what you're doing is learning self-discipline. Self-discipline is the key. And we talk about focus, and we talk about a lot of these things that are, kind of byproducts of this. And really, when you talk about this, we're focusing really on the idea that you're building a habit of self-discipline. And self-discipline means that you're trying to in some way sacrifice something from a short-term goal to a long-term goal. And what you're doing is putting a long-term goal together by saying, this is what I want to be as I go in the future. And so what you're trying to do is kind of focus on what habits can I do now that I may not get benefit from at this minute, but I'll get benefits in the long term. See, a lot of times we're in a society right now that people are focusing on short-term benefits and irregardless of long-term consequences. And we talked about this idea of fake, pleasure compared to real pleasure. The real pleasure is the idea that you know that you're on your purpose, that you're in God's will, you're working God's purpose, and you're going to get there eventually. And you're just taking the right steps, but it takes time to build that building blocks. Just like it took time to start drinking or start smoking or start eating heavy foods, a lot of sugars and things like that, fatty foods. It took habits to build all that. But now you're building better habits to stop that. So you have to think to yourself, what basic habits do I have to use to really implement this retention? Well, first of all, we talked about the fact that you have to become goal-oriented. I don't really care what goals you can put together. We all have different goals. You could have goals when it comes to your career. You have goals in making money. You could have goals when it comes to your hobbies, your extracurricular activities, all these type of things. But these goals need to kind of build you into a stronger person down the line. Or just the fact that you're building this is building a habit of succeeding. The second thing you've got to do is kind of have small victories to build on. Because a lot of times when people feel like they're not really accomplishing a lot, even though they probably are, but they don't recognize it, they're not taking the small types of steps. And what you really want to do is take small steps. I don't care if it means that you have to play a video game and win the video game, or go play some basketball, or do something that is a success. You can label this as, I completed this. And it's not really successful, but it could be successful, but really what you're talking about is completion. I don't care if you're building something, finish it. It makes you feel better that knowing that you can do it. During the week, I've been off for the next couple weeks, and I've been actually doing a lot of stuff around the house. Staying in the deck. I finished that, right? That's a good feeling, right? That builds a habit. It also gets away from all this other kind of nonsense of having no time and no goals, and basically sitting there and just going ahead and looking at pictures and images and going back into all that other stuff. Keep yourself busy with activities, and you won't have time to worry about that other kind of stuff, right? If you have no time, you're probably going to be good at retention, because you're basically going to go ahead and work and do things and keep yourself busy all day, and all of a sudden you'll fall asleep, and all of a sudden it's day after day, and all of a sudden now you're retaining. The habit you got to form is to basically go ahead and just work on things you enjoy doing. Find things to occupy your time. I don't care if it's your hobbies. I don't care if it's things you're working on your house and your apartment. I don't care if it's what it is. But don't let you sit there and let your mind start to wander. And that's when it's going to start wandering on other things. Find things that actually make you constructive. Now, I'll give you some examples of one or some are good and some are bad. If you have to figure out a problem and you have to solve that problem, that is a good one. You're not going to get distracted because you're trying to solve the problem. However, if you're just doing housework or cleaning the house or straightening up the house, your mind's going to go all over the place. This is one of the things about meditation. You got to try to keep focused. And we talked about this, I think, yesterday. But build good habits when it comes to this. And the whole idea is you're trying to get yourself to the point where you're succeeding and you are building yourself up day after day to become a better person each day by things you do. Whether you cut the grass, your mind's going to wander a little bit, but at least you're doing some physical activity. Walking the dog, exercising, running, all those type of things. Do those type of things to keep yourself at the point where you're actually going ahead and getting your mind off of other things. So I think Mark brings up a good point in talking about this and saying, you have to build habits. And you can start these anytime you want. Heck, it took me 40 some years to get into this habit. I think I was 57, and now I'm almost 62 when I started really kind of looking into this. At least this aspect of it. I was doing Fountain of Youth stuff since 1998, so that stuff's always been helping me. It got me closer and closer, but that number 6 exercise, the one about really using kind of celibacy and transmuting, I didn't really recognize it. That's what they were saying at the time. I didn't realize until a few years later when I actually started reading more about transmuting and retention and things like that and why that was important. But it makes sense of why the ancient monks and the Tibet leaders and Tibet monks did a lot of that stuff, because it gives you superhuman strength. Now, we talked yesterday about overloading it. We have to be careful of that stuff. But what you can do is try to get yourself into habits in which you're using that energy. Instead of screaming, yelling, get mad, right? Don't use it emotionally. Instead of trying to use it physically by watching pictures or even with people, you have to get to the point where using that energy is constructive. Bettering yourself, bettering people around you, bettering things on your house, whatever it might be, is a key type of thing. You can't just sit there and just let your mind not have a focus, because that's the easiest way to get back into the old pattern rhythm. So, all right, guys, so I hope this helped on a Saturday afternoon. Hope you guys are doing well. I am going to run a couple errands here and hope you guys see you guys on Monday. Have a great weekend. If I don't do one tomorrow, I'll try to think about it. I have a couple that I might want to kind of shoot across at some point over the next couple days. But hope you guys are doing well. If there's any questions or anything I can help you with, for my opinion, please let me know. And please give me any comments, questions like that, and I'll kind of add it to the list, and we'll kind of go through these as we go along. So, like I said, I'm really kind of here for you guys. I'm not getting anything out of this except the fact that it's bettering me, and dialogue with you guys and people who are kind of in that 1% club. It's helping me a lot, kind of reinforce ideas and getting stronger and keeping you guys. So you guys are helping me as much, or maybe not more, than I would be helping you. But I'm glad I'm helping you guys a little bit. And I hope that that gives you a little bit of inspiration. You guys inspire me all the time, and we'll continue doing this. So God bless you guys. Have a great day, great weekend, and battle on, my friends. Battle on!